Hey, I'm here to do a video on rebasing. Someone asked me, how do you rebase? He wants to know how to do it. I'm sorry if I got your name on the rebase. So you can look at several videos. They got a lot of guys who done tutorials or whatever on rebasing. And I even had to look at some to figure out how to do it, and then I figured it out as I went along. The best way to figure it out is just continue to do it, and you'll get better as you go on, and then you'll figure it out if you're really serious about it. Now, some of you, there's some people who like epicenters, like where you can put in your car for your system, and it'll give a good bass sound. But a lot of people like rebase because you can change the range of bass, right? Rebase music just sounds better to me, and there's a lot of songs that I like that um, I couldn't rebase. I mean, that I couldn't get in the hertz that I have. My system is tuned to 29 hertz, 29 to 32, somewhere around there, and my truck. So I had to learn how to rebase. Oh, anyway, first thing you want to do is you want to download Audacity. You go to the search and download Audacity, and when you download it, you'll open it up, right, and it'll look like this. This is how Audacity looks. And so we'll just take it step by step. I'm gonna have to do it slow so you can get it. So what you want to do is you want to get, like I got Y2 Mate. That's free as well. And what you do is let me go to the conversion. So what you'll do is you'll go to YouTube. Now the easy songs to rebase are the new hip hop. Their envelopes is just same beat, same repetitive. I rebase some of the older music now, but that took a long time and still learning how to do that. So what you do is you right click on the URL. As you see my pointer, I got a big cursor here. Right click it. You put it here. I'm gonna actually do some rebase as we go along. I think I already downloaded it. So you go to the download. So it's in the downloads now. I don't like all the extra stuff it opens up. So now when it's downloaded, you go to open it up. This is Audacity. So it should be downloaded in your folder. So I'm going to try to find it in the folder. It says here Big Moochie Grape, right? So you take it and drag it. Opens up. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Mine open up kind of wide, yours may not. So you see that I went to the view, and it shows the clipping, so you can see the clipping. I don't need to see the clipping anymore because I know where it is. So now that you got that open, that's the first step. The second step is you want to click on it, like over here in the blue, to make sure you clicked on it. And you want to hit Control and D for duplicate, right? So now you see a duplicate. So now is where you're going to separate the words and the highs, right? Where you're going to just have a high pass and a low pass. So you click back up here on the first one. You see it lit up right here. Now you're going to click on Effect. You're going to go to the Effect. You're going to scroll on down to High Pass Filter. You want a High Pass Filter. Now when you open up the High Pass Filter, make sure it says at least 95.0, and the roll off decibel, you want it at 48 decibels. That's the highest you can get, right? So make sure it's that, then you click OK. Now you're not going to be running at 95 hertz. I'll show you how to get the hertz, the bass track, the bass notes in a second, right? So now that that's processed, so to take you back so we won't get lost, when you download it, you control duplicate it. So now you got two duplicated versions. You hit Effect, you go to High Pass, which I did. Make sure it says 95.0 and 40. Let me see what it says again. Make sure it says 95.0 and 48 decibels, right? Which it is. So after you do that, you're still on the top track. So now what this is doing is cutting the bass out. So it's been cut out. So now you have to normalize it. So you hit Effects, right? And then you go down to normalize, right? And then you normalize it, and it should say 1.0, and you should have all these boxes checked after normalize, right? So you'll see it. You can see that all the boxes must be checked, and it may say 1.0. If it's not, put 1.0. Hit OK, and you see how the music, the bass has been extracted. I'm gonna mute this so you can hear it. So you won't hear any bass. More of a kick drum. Stepping on nigga, won't fuck with you pigs. Sending that blitz, I bet you. Alright, so we got that. So I'm gonna unmute this. So now you got your high pass set. Right? So again, you gotta duplicate it, go to effects, hit high pass, then hit normalize. Right? And now the bass is out. So now what we want to do, we want to go down to the low pass. Now we want to create, we want to copy from the bass notes. So now with this, you click on this, you go up to tracks, and then with tracks, you want to mix them down together, because with mono bass, all you need is single, right? So now, there we go. So now you see, that's just the bass track. So now if I mute the vocals, now we see bass. Now let's see how it sounds with the bass. Fuck you think I'm wrong, nigga? No, I haven't removed the bass yet, sorry. So we click that on, right? So we merge the tracks down together. So now we want to create a low pass. So you go to effects and you hit low pass, right? Should be at 95.0 and 48 decibels, dB. Same thing, right? Hit OK. Now that's where your bass is looking like your bass now, right? Now again, this takes time, man. So, you know. So now you're going to hear the bass. You turn up the bass. Bass. That's all bass. So up the bottom is bass. The top I bet you get the mix. Is all your words and mid bass. Right? So now, hopefully we didn't got that far. Okay? So now what we want to do is go to tracks again, and we want to add a new track, a mono track. Now this is where you're going to write your bass. This is where your bass will be written. Right? Let me see here. This is where your bass will be written. Now when you want to go up here to the top, right here, you see my cursor? You can open it up and close it to see how it looks, right? So, see that? These are all your bass notes. Now what I would do with this one is I'll take this and drag it, because these don't have kick drums. See that? You can draw that in yourself. Like I can make an example. Let me do it. Let me make an example so you'll see what I'm talking about. Right here. See how that's darker? So say you want to go with 22 to 35 hertz. This darker one, you know, is like a 35 hertz because it's darker, right? And the other one, I don't want to move too fast and make it too complicated. But you can make it what you want, right? So you make a copy there. You go up to generate. Now this is where you're writing your bass tones. I say I want 40 hertz. Let me just say 40 hertz. Boom, now you got 40 hertz. And say I want to make the rest of this. I want to make the rest of this, say 20 hertz. So you hit generate, and you make sure it's on sine. And I got it at 0.99, right? So you want 20 hertz, you put it on 20. And boom, you got 20 hertz. But because this doesn't have a kick drum, what I do is I just copy it until the bass come in. I'll explain that in a second. So here's the kick drums. And then I'm going to show you what to do as far as the kick drum. So watch when you hear you need a kick drum for the excited punch to make the beat sound good in between the bass notes, right? So here's the kick drums right here. You'll hear it. Okay, so that's the kick drum, right? So what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna erase this. I cover that, come up, remove it. It's tricks and it's a lot of stuff you're gonna learn on your own. When you want to remove something you wrote, you hit effect, hit remove with special. You can do a cut or split or delete, right? Also, as time go on and you get consumed with beats running together, you may not want some of the beats to slide. So you go up here to effects preferences. Hopefully I'll get in that in a second. But I just want to keep it simple for right now. So we're going to copy this. You take it, hold your mouse and drag it. Drag it on over to about right there. Now I'm hit copy here, right here. See right up here? That's your copy. So I hit copy, and now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to copy it. Boom, that's the copy. You can hit this arrow side to side to slide it to make it match however you want it to match. Right? And so now, the easy part, I guess. So you see this, how this looks. There's your kick drums, those little lines, those big lines of your kick drums. So what you want to do is you want to go to a site, any site. See this? These are kick drums. Some of them are free. Whatever kick drum you want. This sounds pretty good right here. But I already got mine downloaded. So you go over here. So you want to have you want to have another Audacity open. That's my opinion. So when you take the kick drum, you see how right here it's a little lighter, a little darker. You can make the punch harder or less. Now to show you an example of that, if I want to, let me say I want the kick drum. Now it's already been boosted, so you don't want to mess with it. But what I did is, this is why it's red. Let me cut off the showing clipping. You see right there where I dragged it over. You don't want this whole thing. You just want that in front of the note that you're going to put. So you get your kick drum, and you can hit effects if you want and amplify it. You don't want to amplify it too much, you'll figure it out. So we take that, see how I took this and drew it and copied it right there and drew it over. Now you go over here, hit copy. So now what we want to do is we're going to go back here, and we're going to see where I'm at right here. We're going to take this right here, and we're going to draw it in and hit paste. This is paste up here, as you see right here. Paste. See, it's pasted right there. Now I can shorten it. I can leave it. I'm gonna just leave it like this for the sake. And then what you want to do is draw it over, and you want to go ahead, generate, and say I want 20 hertz, but I don't want 20 hertz on this because I'm gonna actually rebass this song. I want about 29 hertz on that one. So now you have your kick drum right here. I'm gonna cut on the clipping again so you can see the kick drum. Right, so now you have 29 hertz. Now see that's left over in the front? There's no kick drum there, so you don't need to copy a kick drum for this. So what I'm gonna do is just draw it over, right? And I'm gonna go up here and make a copy, 29 hertz, right? And then you'll learn as you go on. Then you copy this whole kick drum. Make sure all of it isn't lit up. Make sure that other, see it darkened up, and see how it's all lightening up. And then you go up here, hit copy. You want to open this up, this positive, where you can open it to make sure you're on point. And then right about there, I want another kick drum. I want another, see I already copied it. And then what I'm going to do here is go to this one, do the same thing. Now, I don't want to copy over this. So what I want to do is go up here to edit, as I said before, remove special, and split delete. See how now it's open? Now that allows me to copy into place. So now I do the same thing and hit paste. And you just do that all the way through. And then see right down here, let me do a little, now that you got it, right down here, I'm still at 29 hertz. Let's see right down here, you see how dark that looks? This one right here, see how dark that looks? That's no longer 29 hertz. You know, that's not the hertz you want. It's higher than what was originally. So I want to take that, I'm going to erase all that, take that out, edit, remove, split delete, and it's really, once you're doing it, I've been doing it so much now, I do it much faster, but I'm doing it slow for this purpose. Hit generate, tone, and I want 31 hertz. So now, so I'm going to just do this one envelope, right? So now, I'm still in 29 hertz from the one I copied earlier. Paste. And I'm going to do it again. These are very easy, so this is why I'm doing this one. Paste. Right? And at the end, I might want to make it look like a fade out or something. Effect and fade out. That's another thing you're going to use. Make sure you learn these effects. Fade outs, fade ins, that'll all come to play in the rebasing. Right? So I'm going to just do that one envelope. Now to show you another little sneaky trick, you can go back to here, and what I can do, like say right here, have your other one open. This is what I do. Nobody really said any, I just learned as I went on. Control, duplicate, duplicate. Now what you can do with here is just make up your bass notes. Draw it out, hit generate. Let's say I want bass note 30, 31. I'll say 31, and then over here I'll name it 31. 31. Now the reason why, and then you can do other ones, 28, 25, whatever you want. Now the reason why this one is a little darker, because I want a stronger punch when it comes to higher bass notes like 40 hertz, 50 hertz. You don't want a low punch when it comes to the bass notes on a higher bass notes, because it won't hear the beat as is in between the punches. You know what I'm saying? Let me slow it down a little bit, and let me see if I got a bass note, so I can give you a kick drum, so I can give you the full example of what I'm trying to do. That way we won't get lost, right? So here I downloaded a kick drum. Remember I told you can get it off any site. I downloaded the kick drum, and you carry it on over, and that's what it actually looks like before. Let me go to the bottom. This is it down here. This is what I just downloaded. So what I do is I take and drag a little bit of it, because that's the part of the kick drum that I want. And then what I do is I go up here to amplify it. And when I amplify, say you want 25, 30 hertz, you don't need a high amplifier. In fact, you may not even need to amplify it. I just do. So then what you want to do, say maybe 2.5. You'll play with it. And that's how it looks. See that? 2.5. I'm going to undo the amplifier, and let me do it. Now the 2.5 or something like that, amplify it lightly. That would be good for low bass notes. When we're going to amplify, say you want to do 35 and 40 hertz, what I'll do is I might go to 3 or 3.5, right? And it becomes a little bit darker. Oh, I might even say 4. Let me see. Let me amplify it to say 4. And 4.5. Let me see that. You don't want it too much. But see how much darker it is. Some of them, but this one looks even darker right here. So this might have been higher, because that allows that punch at the high bass notes. You want the punch to be able to come through along between the beats. And I'll show you in a second. So we go back here, and I'm gonna mute this and let you see how it sounds. Hear the beat. You gotta have that. That's what the kick drums is all about. You wanna have that kick drum. I'm gonna play it again. That's what it's all about. So I'll play it with some music. Let me play it with a little music. Now it sounds like crap because this is the last part that you have to do. Now I only did one envelope, and another sneaky trick, you can look at it, right? Let me close it up so you can see. Look for the envelopes looking the same or when it catches the beat. When you see this envelope right here, let me copy it. See this envelope right here? I'm going to copy it. You don't have to do this. And I'm going to copy it under here. It looks like the same under here. So they kind of look the same, right? Now sometimes they switch. So my whole point is, when you finish the one envelope like I got here, which this doesn't look the same as this one, when I wind up doing this next envelope, what I would do is copy it like this, hit copy, and then I will paste it. Right? Although they don't match up because this is not the same as that one. But if I did this one, it would match up with all of them. This doesn't match, as you see. That's the point. Okay, so now this is the last part of it. Now you do this all the way down through the songs, right? Copy and paste, copy and paste. Sometimes it switch up though, and it becomes a little harder. But if I was you first starting, I would just start doing the easy ones, the Big Mooshy Grape and Big X the Plug, Key Glock. You know, these newer hip hop beats, they don't require very much. Just the same repetitive bass line. I'm old school, so I do a lot of old school too. So anyway, which is much harder. I'll show you that in a second. So now what you want to do, you want to click on this. This is the processing part where you want it to sound clean. You hit effects, and then you go hit low pass, right? You hit low pass. And see how it changes? Then you want to hit effect, because now you want to normalize it like we did the words. You want to hit normalize. You should see, where's normalize? Right here, normalize. Make sure all of them are checked off as usual, right? Okay, so now it's normalized. So now you'll see a little of the punch, how it changes. So you mute that, right? And I'll see how it sounds. I'm going to turn the words down some and the bass up some so you can really hear it, right? I'm wrong. Fuck you think I'm wrong, nigga? I'm always right. And that's what it'll sound like. I got the bass up too high. You don't want the bass up too high, right? You gotta have that kick drum in there or it'll sound like crap, man. It's not gonna sound good. So then when you finish doing all your rebasing, you wanna match it, right? You wanna cut your mids up. I cut mine no more than 3, or some songs it's like 1 or 2. If you try to put too much bass, see right here at the top, that's a volume. That's your booster. Right here on your bass, I turn it up to no more than 3. And if it sounds like it's like distorting, you cut it down to 2 or 1, depending on your song. So this right here. I'm always right, fuck you saying, let's go. Stepping on nigga, well, fuck what you think, sending it. So that sounds pretty good, right? And then when you finish, you want to process it. You hit File, Export, right? And then you name it, whatever you want to name it, and then there you go. So I'm going to just back out all this because I got to finish this rebase, obviously. Yeah, so I got to finish this. Or what I'll do is I'll finish all of this. And it'll take me, because this is easy one, this will take me no more than 20 minutes or so. And then when you want to go up to the older songs, like I did this This is much more complicated. It's the same concept, but you might have to. There's not much copying and pasting you can do, and some you guys got to catch the beat. I'll give an example. This is Vesta Williams, right? Right. This is Vesta Williams. So you heard it right there. That was the beat. Not this right here. Boom, right there. And that's the never part. Boom. So those are envelopes. So you copy that envelope. And the older songs is, even though these look differently, it's pretty much the same thing because nobody expected rebasing or 30 hertz or 40 hertz back then, right? You'll learn that. That's another ball game. That old school rebass is hard, although I respect the older music a little better because of they put so many ranges and changes in there. The music today is just cut and dry. Envelope, copy, paste, envelope. So when you first start, just do a bunch of older songs. I mean newer songs, not older ones. Do a bunch of the new songs. Anyway, hopefully this can be helpful. I try to do this in a short time. You can also check out other videos on rebasing and you just put it together. I will tell you, it's not easy in the beginning. It's hard work. I bust my ass for a couple of weeks before I really got it down packed. And some of the older rebass songs that I'm probably gonna go over and do it again because just like these older songs, right? You think that when you write the envelope in that they're going to be like this one on point, but it's so much bass that they can conjunct together and it'll sound too bassy. So in some of these like older songs that got it connected like that, what you gotta do is fade out before you get to the beat. You hit effects and fade out, as you see there, to kind of give a break before it hits the next beat. I just found that out. So you'll learn as you go along. All this I learned as I went along, right? Okay, hope it helps. Take care.